happening, guys? What is happening? We're back. We're back again. It is... What day is it? I'm so lost. I'm out of it. There's been a lot of crap happening in Brisbane if you haven't been following. It is the 1st of the 3rd, 2022. We're already into March. Pretty crazy. The year is ticking along. But I digress. Back into the sports. You know, that's what you're here for. Talking sports, wearing shorts. You know, we cover all the news, all the latest topics, and all the latest issues, and all the latest debates. All the latest topics that you would talk about, you would debate on with your friends, whether or not you thought this was true or not. And I've got a big one today. Is this the end of the LeBron James era? I think it's a bombshell. LeBron James been the best player since he's been in the NBA, since he was 18. And now I'm coming out throwing shots saying his era is done. It's finished. It's over. LeBron James, see you later. That's what I'm thinking. So let's just jump into it. Let's get right onto it. So the LeBron James era, is it over? Is LeBron James' time as the GOAT of basketball, as the main man in the NBA, his time over? I think it is. Look, I think it's his time. And look, we can touch on some things and his greatness and things like that. The man's been the best player in the NBA since he was 18 years old, no doubt about it. Straight out of high school, straight into the NBA, and he was the best player in the league. Obviously, when Kobe was still around winning titles, you could argue that Kobe was probably better than LeBron. But when LeBron started winning his first couple of titles with the Heat and then back at Cleveland, he's easily been the best player in the league. Obviously, the closest thing to MJ probably, even though they're two different types of players. He's just been phenomenal since he started, and he's never dropped off. That's one thing you can say about LeBron. He has remained so consistent over his time. I think there's a stat that when he was 18, 28, and 38, he's averaged 27 points per in each decade, which is insanity. It just shows a level of consistency, and it shows his levels as a athlete, as a competitor. He takes it very, very seriously, and he's always been at the top of the mountain. So you've got to give credit where credit's due. He's a phenomenon. He is something that you'll probably never see again. At least in my lifetime, I'd be very surprised if I see another LeBron James. He's once in a lifetime, one in a million, and he is, without a doubt, easily, in some people's opinions, the greatest of all time. He's not my greatest of all time. My greatest of all time is always going to be MJ. But that's a different conversation, and we can get into the GOAT debate in another time. I'm sure there's plenty of videos for that. And if you want to go find them, I'm pretty sure you can find them. That's not what I'm trying to do today. I'm trying to discuss whether his era is over. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is he's not the top dog anymore. What I mean by that is he's not going to win championships anymore. What I mean by that is there's bigger players, bigger names in the NBA, and LeBron is not the spotlight anymore. So let's just jump into it. I mean, let's break some things down. So the first thing I want to talk about is the LA struggles. The Lakers, their struggles, what they're going through. I mean, it's not all LeBron's fault, but he is a lot of the issue. You know, signing Russell Westbrook in the summer, going all in to get Russell Westbrook, it just hasn't worked out for them. And I mean, if you've watched basketball and you follow it quite closely, you could have seen that maybe Russell Westbrook with LeBron James was never going to work. I mean, Russell Westbrook with a lot of people has never worked, but with another player that loves to handle the ball, it was never really going to work. You can't have two ball-heavy guys on the same team. It just doesn't work. You look at James Harden, Kyrie Irving, that never really materialized, although Kyrie Irving was never really on the fucking court. It's the same sort of thing. You can't have two ball-heavy guys. So the struggles at LA are pretty real right now. So he's really struggling to even make it in the playoffs. They're not even in the 8. They're about 4 or 5 games below 500, which I can't remember a time. I mean, if you can remember a time, guys, leave it in the comments below. I can't remember a time LeBron's been under 500 this deep in a season. I just can't. There was that struggle with Cleveland a couple of years ago after their championship winning team, when they made all those trades for like Isaiah Thomas and all that. They finished quite low. I think it was like a 6 in the East that year, but I mean, they were still in the top 8, and I can guarantee you they were plus 500. This is a weird time for LeBron, and I'm not sure if it's all Westbrook and the team's fault. I think it has a little bit to do with LeBron not being as good as he used to be as well. There is no doubt in my mind that the team that he was in Cleveland in 2007, 2008, is far worse than the team he's at now with the Lakers. But he managed to drag that team to a finals. Now, that's obviously a different LeBron. He's younger, he's fitter, and he was obviously a lot better of a player. You could argue that he's probably a better player now. His basketball IQ's gone up. He's still producing at a higher level. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I just don't think that it's a great fit with the players that they got at LA. And he's on a slow downward trend. And I think that trend is going to continue. There's a great chance they don't play playoffs. And if LeBron James doesn't play playoffs, it is over. Like, I think it's over already for him being the top dog. But if they don't make playoffs, put a line in the sand. It is. Then there's a few extra things I want to touch on to why it really cements that LeBron's time is kind of fading out. I feel like he's kind of going through that wizard phase with MJ. Like, obviously MJ had left the league, he came back, and he was never the same guy. He was 40 years old. But LeBron's got to have some sort of decline. I think he's on that decline right now. You look at the likes of Giannis, you look at the likes of KD, Steph Curry, even in Chicago with DeMar DeRozan. There's, Ja Morant for the Grizzlies. There's so many players now in the league that are fucking superstars, man. Like, Steph Curry has dramatically changed the way the NBA is played. There's no doubt about it. People are jacking up threes from anywhere. Now, if you're a center, you're being asked to shoot threes. That's all because of Steph. And so he's dramatically changed the NBA and the way it's played. And I think, personally, he's kind of now the new phase. He's the new it guy. You know what I mean? He's now the new face of the NBA. When kids grow up now, they're looking at Steph. They can relate to Steph more because he's more of a, he's a shorter guy. He looks more normal. LeBron's a freak of nature, 260, 6'8". It built like a brick shit house. You got to be God-gifted talent to be that. But Steph is more relatable, and the fact that he's so gifted and so talented, young players can relate to him more. So I think that this Steph era is slowly starting to take over LeBron. Obviously, the longtime fans are going to love LeBron. He's always still going to be really, really popular, but I just think he's falling off that mountain a little bit. You've got the fact that he's, 38 years old now, or 37, I think. He's not getting younger. He's getting close to the 40. And then the final part I want to mention on this, and the final topic I want to really put together about this debate, that why LeBron's probably, his era is done, is the fact that he's got his son. His son is now, 2 years off being in the NBA, I think. 2 more years being drafted. And he really wants to play with him. And I don't think being at the top anymore really concerns LeBron. I think his goals and his objectives have changed. He wants to play with his son. It's not about money. It's not about points. Albeit he would love the points record, which I think he really wants that, because that's the one thing he can get over Michael Jordan is the points record. But the championships and all that, I think they're just second fiddle. I don't think they're in the back of his mind anymore. They're not the priority. I think playing with his son is a priority. And you've just started to notice that in LeBron's game. And look, LeBron was never a super competitive player. He was never a sadistically competitive player like the likes of MJ and stuff like that. That's the type of guys you hold at the top saying they're going to do whatever it takes to win. LeBron's never really been like that, albeit a fantastic player. He's never really had that animalistic sort of mentality where he was just going to do whatever it took. So it's not surprising to me that the competitive edge is kind of dying off a little bit, and he would rather that opportunity to play with his son. Because, I mean, look, how many players have actually ever done that? Play with their son when you're still at a fairly elite level. It's pretty crazy. I don't think many players have done that. I can't remember. If you remember, guys, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, guys, what do you reckon? Do you reckon LeBron's time is over? Do you reckon his time at the mountaintop is done? I think it is. I think you're going to start to see the end of LeBron. Like, he's always going to be a superstar, no doubt about it. Second greatest player of all time in my eyes. So he's never going to lose that status, but I think he's slowly starting to decline. But yeah, just a quick one today, guys. Let me know what you think. A little hot topic. I mean, LeBron is always a topic, but I can just start to see something. It's a little bit weird at the moment. Wanted to jump on, talk to you guys about it. So as always, if you like these types of videos, NBA types of videos, I'll leave a couple of links in the description below of other NBA videos that I've done. A couple of videos regarding the MVP, whether or not DeRozan is the MVP. Check that video out if you like it. It'll be somewhere around the screen, wherever I get that link. But as always, guys, if you love what you see, like, comment, subscribe if you are new. Follow the podcast on Spotify, Talking Sports Wearing Shorts, where we upload daily. Well, I think we've actually got one coming tonight. We're going to be recording tonight, so that's cool. And check out all the socials. They'll be in the description below too. We upload all the time, post all the time. So you can always keep up to date. Anyway, guys, as usual, see you guys on the next one. Peace.